Lionel Messi has made his intent clear and he wants to play for Inter Miami. And while the final details of the contract are still being worked out, it's never too early to discuss which players could follow the Argentine great to Miami. And to help us sift through the transfer market is our MLS insider, Tom Bogert. Tom, as we run through these list of names, let's hit on three key points here. What are you hearing? How likely? And how would they fit in with Inter Miami? So let's start with Sergio Busquets. The midfielder just said goodbye to the only club he's ever known in Barcelona. What are you hearing? How likely is it? And how would Busquets fit into this Miami squad?
Yeah, so this is, of all the names that we're going to talk about, for me, the most likely, and it's the one that I'm definitely expecting to happen. Sergio Busquets, he's always been a part of the conversation with Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. This winter, there's been reports in February or November, even before the World Cup, that the deal was 99% done for Inter Miami. So the way that I read it is that things were agreed and could be kind of put forward when the time comes. And now the time has come. So again, I'm expecting Sergio Busquets to join Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. The way he'd fit in this team, they badly need central midfielders. Probably their most important player, captain defensive midfielder Gregory, is out for most of the season. Another key central midfield starter, Jean Mota, is out for most of the season. So Sergio Busquets, it's in addition to his quality and his resume and everything else, the fact that he plays defensive midfield, central midfield is going to be really key for Inter Miami at a position where they desperately need it. He'll change them. He'll make them much more ball dominant as a world-class player, as a legend of the game for everything that he does on the ball. He's going to make them a whole lot better with the ball in possession, retaining, and dangerous going forward. They will need players who can run around him. Dixon Arroyo is a good kind of destroying defensive midfielder who has his own injury, who has an injury of his own. So I'm very curious to see what the defensive side looks for it. But again, Sergio Busquets would fit very well.
On to one of the best strikers of his generation, Luis Suarez. Suarez is currently playing his soccer for Grêmio in Brazil, but could the Uruguayan number 9 make his way to Miami?
Yeah, look, I've learned to have a healthy amount of cynicism when it comes to star players being linked with Inter Miami, because over the last, even before this was a team, you could name any star and they were allegedly coming to Miami. But I've heard from a few secondary sources, nobody connected with the club, but this chatter is real. He's under contract at Gremio through 2024, but there's reportedly a clause in which he can release. I don't know if it's exactly an exit clause or release clause in terms of the contract language, but it seems like he'll be able to get out of Gremio if he could go to Miami. The way he'd fit, it'd be really fun to watch Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez play together again. Those years at Barcelona were legendary. They were iconic. He's got like 18 goal contributions in 2,100 minutes with Gremio. So he's older, but he's still Luis Suarez, man. And that kind of quality is going to age well in MLS. Like, he's obviously relied on pace. He's not been the fastest though. So his goal scoring ability is going to be there forever. He can still move a little bit. Like, I don't know. I think that he'd be a really good fit for Inter Miami.
Now, keeping the Barcelona theme going, let's go on to Jordi Alba. The 34-year-old left back also recently said his farewell to the Camp Nou and the Blaugrana. What's the latest on the Jordi Alba link?
Yeah, this one is the most loose for me. I wouldn't put anything past, I guess, Miami trying to figure out a way to make it happen, and to acquiesce for Messi, and any other kind of hoops that they would need to jump through. But it doesn't make a ton of sense in terms of what his probable salary would be, and that they already have a really good left back in Franco Negri, and he's a compatriot. He's also Argentinian, like Messi. Again, not that replaces friendship and everything that he's done with Jordi Alba, but in terms of just looking at it from a common sense standpoint, this one isn't the most obvious. It's not like Busquets. It's not like Suarez. And then if he fits on the team, it'd be just the same way that their current left back does. He'd be bombing forward. Their issue with their current left back is that he doesn't defend so well. And I think that would probably be the similar expectation for Jordi Alba, just a better version of that, obviously. So it doesn't sound like I'm downplaying Jordi Alba's current ability.
Well, World Cup winner and Copa America winner, Angel Di Maria. Di Maria has played his last game for Juventus and is looking for his new club. Could it be Inter Miami? I know he's got that connection with Lionel Messi from Argentina. Is this possible?
Yeah, I have a source in Di Maria's camp that says that, this is on the radar. I didn't get a whole lot of specific details on whether it's likely or not, but this is something that's realistically being discussed. It's difficult, right? So Messi is one of Miami's 3 designated players. They could get rid of Rodolfo Pizarro by buying him out to open another slot. And you'd expect if Luis Suarez comes, he would probably be a designated player based on salary expectations, requirements, whatever. Angel Di Maria absolutely would be. Like, that's no question. So the only way that they'd be able to fit him in is if Suarez comes, they'd have to get rid of 2 DPs. So that'd be Leo Campana, the rising Ecuador international center forward. That's very possible. Leo Campana has value around MLS. They could trade him. They could transfer him abroad. Like, that's not too difficult in terms of getting out of the contract. It would just be if they're going to completely revamp their team. They brought in Campana on loan last year, and this winter they made the signing permanent. He was very good last year. He's dealt with some injuries this year. So this would require pretty much handing over sporting control to Messi, right? Like, if that, this would be all of your high leverage slots on Messi and friends. And I would love for it to happen just from a content standpoint, from an interest standpoint. It'd be a lot of fun. I was asking about Angel Di Maria a few months ago and kind of leading up to the summer, kept asking, hey, any chance for MLS clubs? And it was like, no, like, money's too big. It would probably be Middle East if he leaves Europe. I checked in again 3 weeks ago. Same thing. No, nothing's happened. Checked in this morning. All right, well, Messi changes things. So look, like, this is one to watch. And again, it just shows the kind of the gravitational pull for Lionel Messi.
With Phil Neville relieved of his duties, Inter Miami is in search of a new manager. The name that has gained the most traction recently is Tata Martino. Now, Martino coached Messi at both Barcelona and with the Argentina national team. Could we see the 2018 MLS Cup winning manager in Miami?
Absolutely. I'm not sure if I would go as far to say that it's likely right now because they're at the beginning of their coaching search. This is already a very attractive job before Lionel Messi, with everything that comes with South Florida and David Beckham and ownership and the idea that they're going to try to attract stars. I am certain that Chris Henderson in that front office got a whole lot of people reaching out, intermediaries or coaches themselves saying, hey, let's talk. I'm interested. I know that you need a head coach. But Tata Martino is, one source described it as the front runner. And again, it's pretty early. I want to be careful to make sure this doesn't sound like it's something that's imminent. But for me, this is a proven MLS manager who won a league title with Atlanta. He built Atlanta. Since he left Atlanta, they were successful only with the remnants of what he left behind, and that's it until this season. He's got the personality. He's dealt with Messi before. They weren't like best friends, but they weren't distant or anything. So this would make a whole lot of sense in a whole lot of different ways. So until, I guess, another coaching candidate is reported and kind of comes to light, it feels like Tata Martino is a top option, if not the top option.
For all the latest on Messi to Miami and all that will come with it, go check out and read Tom's work on